Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. So we're continuing in Halachot of Siman Rish Nun Gimel, the laws of CHAZARA, returning a hot food item back to its heat source. So we saw that the Shulhan Aruchs has three conditions on how you could bring it back, and those three conditions are that the fire is garufa katum, it's a covered fire, and that you don't put the pot on the ground, and that the food is still hot. We said it's yad solidbo. Whereas the Ashkenazim add that your hand is always on it the whole time, and that you have intention to bring it back. So what comes out here is that, let's say you don't put it onto the floor, but rather you put it onto the kitchen counter. So is the kitchen counter considered like the floor or not? What's going on over here is that when the Shulhan Aruchs says that if I take, let's say the classic case is, let's say I take out my pot from the crock pot. So I take my pot from the crock pot out, but I want to put it back in. Let's say it's Friday night, it's late, and let's try some of the dafina now. Right? So I take my crock. So can I do this? You can take your crock pot out of the thing, but you have to fulfill these conditions. That now, so don't put it on the ground, but I put it on the shaish I put it on the marble in my kitchen. So many explain that that's kind of like the ground, because the whole thing of the ground is like I'm putting it in a place where I would usually put it to kind of leave it there, and putting it onto your kitchen counter is where things go. Where here I'm using to serve and kind of leaving there. And if I put it in a way where, like what's brought down is, let's say I put a towel or I put a pillow, something irregular, and then I put the thing on top of it, so it's going to remind me this is not where it belongs, and it's going to go back to its original spot. But if you put it in a place where it generally would remain, that's where there would be an issue. So the Farshim say that something like a kitchen counter is considered like was then the ground, where we don't usually put things on the ground anyways, pots on the ground, but that's where they would maybe put it to, when they were finished with it or whatever it is. So therefore, one shouldn't just leave it there. Now, if you're still holding it, even though the Shulchan Aruch doesn't say that holding it helps, Ashkenazim say holding it helps, so I'll put it on the counter, I'll keep my hands on it the whole time, someone else will serve. Sfaradim could rely on that leniency to therefore put it back afterwards. Now, another case would be, so if let's say now I want to put it, let's say I take out my crock pot, I take it out from the crock pot, but I want to put it onto the hot plate. So that's even better, because the hot plate is fully covered, and it's not a source of where I cook from usually. It's a source of where I warm from. So that's even better, and that's not an issue. Meaning, it might have been an issue because it's talking about a liquid item, but provided that it's still hot, and even if there could have been that maybe I did put it on the table, or I did put it on the shaish, or I did put it on the ground, I did let go of it, because it's still hot and I'm putting it on a hot plate, then there is room to work it out there. And lastly, just like we pointed out, is that the Ramah, the Ashkenazim need that you have to have the intention of bringing it back to the heat source, whereas Faradim don't need that intention. So let's say Shabbat morning, you have your dafina, you take your dafina out, and the assumption is everyone's going to eat from the dafina, and that's it. But let's say it's still hot, and you're fulfilling the conditions, let's say you're holding it still, and then the wife says, you know what, let's put it back onto the crock pot and keep it for Seudah Shalishit. Why not? It's a short, let's say it's a winter. So even though you didn't originally have that intention, you are allowed for Sfaradim. Whereas for Ashkenazim, they had no intention to do that. So you took it out for the lunch, and then only later let's put it back in. Let's think about it now to put it back in. No, it's not going to work in that case for Ashkenazim. Okay, that's that for today. Minchat tonight at 6:35. Gemara Shur tonight at 8:30, and we have a few brachot after Shachrit, Leilu Nishmat, Max's father, so everyone can stay and take something to go. Brachot over here in the side room. Have a good day, everyone. Tanad Eliyahu.